Assalamualaikum and a very good afternoon to all. Thank you so much for joining us today. It's been a while since we had since our last Web of Science training session, which was in November last year. So in the first place, today we are glad to have Miss Kurinji Mala from Clarivate to conduct a refresher session on Web of Science. In this 1.5 hour session, Miss Kurinji will brief us about Web of Science and the new functionality that we may not be aware about. Yeah. Okay, today's session will be recorded and we will send you a copy of the recording after the session. If you have any question, please type them in the chat box. The question will be addressed by the speaker during the presentation. So without further ado, over to you, Miss Kurinji.
Thank you, Puan Sharifah. Thank you for organizing this session, yourself as well as Puan Fatima. So, and for the participants, welcome to this session. So, I believe some of you have used this platform in the past. Some of you might be new. Some of you have used it, may not have utilized the features and the functionality of this platform. So today I will take you through from the basic to start with the searches, to analyze the content, to even look at some of the researchers' profile and so on. So, but before we go looking at all the Web of Science features and functionalities, or how to maximize the use of these collections, I will take you through how you can use this platform, or what are the steps for you to verify so that you are not, you are able to find the most trusted journals and so on. So just keep yourself away from the predatory or untrusted journals, or untrustworthy journals. And I will take you through that before we going into the Web of Science platform itself. Yeah. So I'm going to go off video just to save the internet bandwidth. But if there's any question, then later on I will be back on the camera. Yeah. So let me just go off video. Okay. So I believe some of you might be familiar with me because I have done this session on PQDT, I think somewhere in the month of July or August. So some of you might be familiar, but for those who are new, let me share a very brief introduction about myself. So my name is Kurinji Malar, and you can address me as Kurinji. I'm the customer education trainer for ProQuest, which is now part of Clarivate. And I have worked closely with many of the academic institutions across Southeast Asia. Been in Clarivate, ProQuest Clarivate about 3.5 years. And of course, I'm based in Malaysia. So if you have any questions in either in Bahasa Malaysia or in English, please feel free to post it in the chat panel, or if you can unmute your speaker, you feel free to do so, yeah. Although usually we keep the Q&A session towards the end of the presentation, but in this session, just feel free to send your question as and when you think you need to share some information, or you want to ask something, just feel free to do so. And as Puan Sharifah mentioned, this session is scheduled for 1.5 hours. So if we may need to take short break, maybe probably about 2 to 3 minutes of break in between if needed. Yeah. So let's move on. So we have a quite number of learning objectives to achieve towards the end of the session. So what will be your key takeaways? So your first thing is, when you come to this platform, hold on, let me enable. So you will need to know, okay, why that I need to use the Web of Science. So in this current environment, there are lots of new journals being published across. So for you to decide which journal that I should use for my literature, which journal should I to plan for my future publishing your research paper and so on. So you need to know how to use this platform more effectively. So with that, we will start with going through understanding how to find literatures to conduct your literature review more efficiently. Then we will go in to see how to use some of these features, some of the filter panels, to find the most influential and hot research papers. and by using the citation network. So some of you already familiar with what is citation network and how citation network works, and how is so important to know how the citation networks and use the method of the citation networks to discover more undiscovered information or identify the gaps and emerging trends of a particular topic, by exploring the citation network. Then there are lots of analytic tools, yeah, so a lot of analytic tools that will help you to uncover the novel ideas, the potential collaborators, the funders that have been funding this collections of information. And lastly, we will look at how you can create a complete researcher profile for yourself to showcase your research expertise within this Web of Science platform, Web of Science database itself. Okay, so quite a number of objectives, but I think we can cover all that in this 1.5 hours. Okay, let's move on. As you know, the growing number of scholarly journals publication, where the report shows that more than 30,000 scholarly journals being published globally, and it is more challenging than ever, yeah, to assess and evaluate the scholarly journals that you want to work on publishing your papers, or you want to apply it in your research to do your literature review and so on. So with the rise of these journals, there's a lots of concerns in the rising of untrusted and untrustworthy journals might be hidden in there. So when that happens, this can be challenging for researchers, especially the early career researchers, to find suitable journals that is to support their research, or even to publish the work or the research papers. So as a librarian or the library in the role of becoming, the role is also becoming more challenging in identifying and selecting trusted journals to improve your collections, to support your researchers. Yeah. So along with these open access journals, along with this increase in the journals across the world, the increase in open access journals is also on rise. So you will need to access to the information so that you can make more data-driven decision when it comes to publish. That means you need to have your own open access strategy. Okay, so this is all about this, increasing trend in the publications output. Okay, now let's move on. So alongside with the rapid growth of the published research output, we also witnessing the rising tide of the journals with the questionable publishing practices. So this chart, if you look at this chart, this is a chart from the magazine The Economist, published in May 2020, reported there are about at least 13,000 predatory journals exist worldwide. So the tide is the trend are open access. Basically because of this because of this increasing predatory journals, yeah, the reason for it, it's also together along with the open access mandates from the funders that increases the demand for open access publishing outlet. Yeah, and those mandates paired with this overall rising costs in the application processing charges, or might lead to a questionable publishing outlets, which may offer an affordable open access publishing in a shorter publication time. So all these untrusted or predatory journals have no clear definition. Yeah, they don't have a clear definition. In fact, there is not even law to place to govern or impose any penalties on these trusted journals. So that is very important for researchers to be aware of the tools that can guide you to the trustworthy content, trustworthy papers, trustworthy information, such as the Web of Science or JCR, Journal Citation Reports, and etc. Okay. So I want to take you through a few ways, how you can prevent yourself, getting into the predatory journals. So basically to go through a couple of checklists or questions before submitting your manuscript. So the checklist are, the first one is you need to know, first thing that you need to ask question is, do you or your colleagues know the journals? So it's always good to check if your peers or supervisors are familiar with this journal, who had published before, they've been hearing about this journal and so on. So that is checklist number one. Number two is you can easily identify and easily to contact the publisher. So sometimes these journals, they will have the close titles. The titles are very close to some of the high impact journals. So it is important for you to verify the publisher's detail, especially when the contact details such as the physical address or email address or contact numbers should be available in the website. So in some instances, if you don't find it, then that you should put a caution to it. Or even sometimes you will find the use of Gmails or Hotmails or some other emails, which is not the official emails. Then you may want to be more skeptical and be cautious about it. Okay, now is this journal, the third one is to ask question, is the journal clear about the type of peer review it uses? So usually we will need to check, the journals need to be transparent. You need to check whether the publisher is transparent about the peer review process, whether it is stated in the website. Yeah. So there are few types of peer review. They might apply any of those methods. So it can be single blind or double blind, or now with the increasing in the open access peer reviews as well. So to ensure that journal is clear about the peer review process and being stated in their website. So if it is not, if it offers you a very short peer review time and guaranteed some acceptance, then you need to be cautious about it. The last one is, are the article indexed in the services you use? Okay, you can always check in the use of in the Web of Science or JCR to see, they are curated content. So you want to see this index in those services. And next one is it clear what fees will be charged? Okay? Does the journal site explain what these fees are for and when they will be charged? Okay? So this is again very important. So if it doesn't explain, there's no information about the article processing charges, this particular information should be disclosed to the author in the first instances. Yeah. So if it's not stated, if it's not been disclosed, then again you need to be cautious. So if there's any additional charges along the way which was not stated in the document or websites, then again you need to be skeptical. So these are some of the trigger points when you need to be cautious. Okay. Now next is, do you recognize the editorial board? So it's sometimes you have all those people in the editorial board with the prominent profile, yeah, some especially in the research industry, with the highly cited researchers, Nobel laureates, citation laureates. So just be aware. The reason the publishers or the journals wants to have this name in the advisory board or editorial board is because of the increase in the competition among the journals. So all that you need to do, just verify it. And lastly, is the publisher is a member of a recognized industry initiative? So for example, are they belongs to the Committee of Publication Ethics, or they are, if they're open access journals, are they listed in the Directory of Open Access Journal, DOAJ? So we need to know whether they are part of it, or if they are also part of any other standards, yeah, publication recognized industry initiative. So if they are in part of the standard or part of the initiative, then then it's okay. But otherwise, you may need to be cautious also. But looking at all this checklists, it can be in your mind just to go through the list. But with your time constraint and the urge to publish your papers during your research journey may not permit you to do such thorough work. Yeah, you cannot be going through every single journals to do checklists thoroughly and verify it yourself. So it is important for you to rely on curated resources such as Web of Science, or even JCR and so on. So this basically not only will save your time, but will also allow you to focus on doing more of your research than worrying about, about the journals. Okay, so let's move on. So with that, if you look at the Web of Science core collections, core collections information. So on my left here is basically the core collections. So the core collections are basically curated content, curated by Clarivate, where you have the first four, the Science Citation Index Expanded, Social Science Citation Index, Arts and Humanities Citation Index, or Emerging Source Citation Index. So the first four indexes, basically they are journal collections under the journal collection. Then we also have conference proceeding citation index and books citation index. So these are called Web of Science core collection. So having the journals that have been indexed in these collections, we have about 21,000 plus journals that have been indexed in this collection, with 200,000 plus conference records and about 100,000 plus books. Yeah. And the back files, the platforms or the database back files goes way back to 1900. But for UMT, I think you need to check. Maybe your content coverage is slightly different. Most likely it's from 1975 onwards, depending on the sources as well. Yeah, just be aware of that. Okay, now let's move on. So to know why is this Web of Science, it emphasizes on the editorial integrity, and it is always well known as a publisher neutral index. Why do we say that? Yeah, because the content that is the content or the journal that is being selected for the indexing, it is purely based on the neutral selections. So what it means, when we say neutral selection, what it means. So basically, Web of Science or even Clarivate as a company, we do not publish any journals. So when it comes to the journal collection, journal evaluation or journal collection, then it is solely based on set of criteria. There are a couple of criteria they go through in order to be met to be indexed in the Web of Science. Okay? And most importantly, this collections done by the indexing is done by our very own editorial team, who do not have any affiliation with publishers or institutions. So we do not see biasness towards the journals when it comes to indexing. There is, we basically publisher neutral when it comes to the selection. So even if you have collections of open access journals who wanted to be indexed in the Web of Science collection, they will still go through the same selection criteria. They will go through the same evaluation process, selection criteria. Basically, it's a rigorous selection process to meet 24 quality criteria and then meet another 4 impact criteria in order for them to be indexed in the flagship collections such as Science Citation Index Expanded, Social Science Citation Index, and also Arts and Humanities Citation Index. So if they go through, if they're put through a queue, right, they want to be indexed, they will be put through a queue here, then evaluate again the quality criteria. If they have met the 24 quality criteria, they will be able to be indexed in the ESCI. Then when they are in the ESCI, if they have gained 4 more impact criteria, then they will be hosted in any of this index accordingly based on the subjects. Yeah. So if it's science, it's science. If it's social sciences, or if it's arts and humanities, then it's arts and humanities. Likewise, when they are being indexed here, eventually if they lose some impact, they don't meet the criteria of the 4 impact criteria, then they'll be back again. They will be back and indexed in ESCR. So this process is actually an ongoing, and the collection is being the performance review or the evaluation review is always continuously done on more frequent basis. Okay. Let me just go to the next slide. Now, when you see this, it's very detailed information about journal selection process. And why I'm showing you this is when you look at this content. Yeah. So it's basically, this is a graphical explanation how we select and classify the content accordingly, and goes through a couple of processes, right? A couple of phases or stages when it comes to selection process. So if you look at it very closely, so you will see some of this criteria that I talked about earlier. We did talk about, when it comes to the checklist, we talk about some of the checklists that you need to focus on. So if you look at that, you will see that in this selection process, or in the journal selection activity along the way, you will see there is the presence of the peer review policy. So make sure that if they don't have some of this peer review policy, or even the content, or even the access to the contact details, they don't even pass through the first stage. Yeah? So this is how it goes through. Then we will look at some of the other criteria, such as the editorial affiliation details, or editorial board composition, peer review evidences, and also more selection criteria is actually basically done before it is being indexed, even in ESCI, or even to some of the flagship indexes. Okay? So this is where, if you notice, you will see that basically when this curated content, Web of Science, already done all the actual work that you need to do, a quick checklist. So basically, if it is curated in Web of Science, the content is all trusted. Everything has been curated with the strictest criteria and a rigorous selection process. So this will help you to avoid, getting into the potential of the publishing in predatory journals, or even the untrusted journals. Okay, let me just move on. Any question? Feel free to ask if you have any question. So then now, if you have question like, okay, now I know I have Web of Science, but how do I find journals that is indexed in Web of Science itself? Very quickly, if I don't get into the Web of Science platform, how do I find the list of journals that has been indexed in the Web of Science or Journal Citation Report? Okay. So for that, you can use the master journal list. Hold on, let me just share with you the URL. Okay, this URL is can be publicly accessed. It's open access. Hold on. So it's an open access. So if you already registered with Web of Science, if you have your own credentials, create an account with master journalists with using the same credential that you have used for Web of Science. Yeah, just use one set of credentials. So when you go into this master journalist mjl.clarivate.com, so once you go into that, you basically can type in and say, okay, I have this list of journals that I want to know, or this is the journals that I want to know whether it is being indexed in Web of Science and indexed as a what citation index it is, right? So if you want to find out very quickly, you can go here, type in the journals, and then it will give you information about the journals. Okay, and this master list is being updated on a monthly basis. So if you have new journals being indexed in Web of Science, then it will be appearing in the, sorry, is there a question? Okay, no. So if you click on the downloads, you should be able to see the updates. Yeah, so I may not go into the detail of this master journalist, because you can explore that later. What you need to do is just type in the journal's name, then you get information, or you can go into the downloads. I will take you through that in the slide later. Okay, just go to the download. Okay. Now, what information that you can find, what level of information you can find in the master journalist? Yeah, so you basically have information about whether or not in these journals been indexed in Web of Science or JCR. That's it. If you want to know more about the metrics, such as the journal impact factor, or the journal impact factor quartile, or journal ranking, immediacy indexed, or half-life cited index. This information only available in JCR. Yeah, it's only available in the journal citation report. So I think you at the moment you may not have yet. Hopefully you will have it soon. Yeah, so that's a question from Fabian. Yes, you need to sign in. So just create an account, just log in, create an account. So when you create an account, create it with the credential that you have created for your Web of Science login. So leave it, synchronize it basically. You just have to sign in here. You can create it. Anybody can create the account, but my advice to create it with the use of the same credential that you have it for Web of Science. Yeah. Okay, so what else that you can find here? Now, very importantly, sometimes you want to know if a new collections of journals has been added to this or being indexed recently. And if you want to know more about it, you basically click on the downloads. You go to the Web of Science core collections or the archive information. You will see that core collection information. Then you will see the changes. Yeah. So in currently it's available up to October. So you can see what information that you can find. Basically, you will see like you will get a spreadsheet. That the Excel sheet will have all these legends, yeah, basically to say what is accepted means. If I say editorial delisting means what is all about. So production delisting, what is it? Yeah. So basically, production delisting means it's been removed from Web of Science due to the non-receipt of content from the publisher. You can see there are new journals titles being accepted recently in the month of, let's say if it's October, it's October. And you can also see the editorial delisting titles, production delisting titles. Titles might have changed, yeah, change in the title of the journals, and also being seized. You can see all that. Okay. There is no there is no impact factor quartile information. Yes, that's right, Pan Sharifa. It's correct. There is no impact factor or quartile information in MJL page. Yeah, MJL page is just for you to identify if this journals is being indexed in Web of Science or journal citation report, and also if it is indexed, in what index. That's it. That's all you will have information about it. And also to see the latest edition of the journals in the index by looking at the updates. Okay. So now if you're looking at yes, we will go into that later. We will go into the Web of Science page shortly. And there's a question: what's the difference between MJL and with others, etc., and data science? Okay, so this is provided by Clarivate, managed by Clarivate. Of course, if you access to the others database, is by different publishers, basically. Okay, now let's move on. One thing that you will come across if you see any journals, yeah, if any journals and it is on hold, that means it's still in the reviewing stage, evaluation stage, whether to be removed or to be maintained. So you just be aware if you come across on hold and so on. I'm going to pause for a few seconds. So why I take you through the whole process of this whole process of how a Web of Science being indexed is to show you that once it's being indexed in Web of Science, so those are more reliable journals. So you are kind of like may not be exposed to the untrusted or untrustworthy journals. Okay. So I will pause for a few seconds to see if you have any question. Okay. So now I'm going to move on to the Web of Science platform. Before I go into the demo, I would also like to share with you a few updates on that. So we're going to go and look at the accelerating your discoveries. Most importantly, we want to look at keywords. Search is easy, but often less robust than you think. So most of us are very familiar with use of keywords, but if you want to maximize the use of the citation databases, or like the Web of Science database, then you need to understand actually keyword is not as robust as you think. Okay, why I am saying this is because, let me just go in. Because Web of Science is a citation database, so it's basically a tool that will help you to discover information or literatures from the ideation phase, from looking at ideas, doing your proposals and the time, from the ideation phase to problem formulation, to literature searching, to data evaluation and analysis, to interpreting the information, finding a journals to publish, along the whole entire research process. It is a tool that a researcher must consult. Yeah. And why we say that is, if you notice, when you start your search, for example, whenever anybody wants to start a search, either in the database or in the open web, all of us, we will use a search keyword to start with. To start with, we will use a keyword to find for information. So when you enter your information in a Google search engine, or in any academic database, or even in Web of Science, Web of Science database, you will find some desired information. You will find some related information, but there are some limitations or challenges when you're using keywords, because you will find the discovered the information, the desired information, but it may not be as comprehensive as as you expected. It may not be comprehensive discovery. The reason is, when you use the keyword, it will go in and search for the keywords based on the occurrence, how many times it's occurred and it's been appearing. You may not be able to see the relevancy or the relationship between the research papers, or even you can't see able to identify the evolution or the development or the relationship between all the research papers. So therefore, it is very important to take an approach to use the citation network to understand how it works, and to discover the comprehensive information, or to understand the holistic understanding of the research topic, is to use the citation network. Okay. So citation databases like Web of Science basically will be able to allow you to explore those relationship between the papers. Okay, now I move on to just take you through, for those, some of you might be early career researchers. So a citation, I'm sure you know what is citation. Is there a question? Okay, no. Okay, a citation basically is a reference to other published materials. So a citation index is a database that captures all the references. So if it captures all the references of the items, that will allow users to easily establish which later documents cite which earlier documents. So you're able to see the relationship within the documents, the relationship between the research, or the relationship between the research domains. Okay? So basically what it means to you, the citation index, using a citation index will easily find older or newer related papers, or you may also uncover the undiscovered papers in the past. Okay? So that's how it is important to you. I will move on to the next page. I will take a few seconds to explain this. This is very important because the entire Web of Science database is all about exploring the citation network. So I will take some time to start explaining, going through this graphical. So whenever you start a research, you probably have a key term in your mind. You have started with your keyword search in Web of Science. So once you have identified some of those papers which you think is relevant or could be spark some ideas. So like, for example, when you're searching, you find, let's say you found this paper which was published in year 2012. This is something must be very relevant to you, and it sparks some ideas. So you you keep to this paper. So when you have a quick look on this paper, so you are looking at it as a seed paper, originating papers. So you want to use the citation networks to uncover the undiscovered content or information that was not discovered before. So how do you do that? Is basically you look at the cited references. So on your left here, there is cited references. So when you see cited references, so these are papers that has been published papers used as references for the 2012 papers. So by reviewing all these papers, by reviewing the cited references, it basically allows you to look at the history, how this paper was concluded, and to look at what happened in the past and so on. So it gives you an idea to go way back to whichever year the papers has been cited here. Yeah. Then you will also look at, if you want to know what happened subsequently, what is the development of this research paper after 2012, then you will probably want to look at these time cited. Sometimes it's time cited, or you might come across the term citing articles. So when you look at the citing articles, you're basically looking at who have cited this paper subsequently and why they have cited this article and what has been discussed and what is the next chapter of this research topic, or basically the development or evolution of this research basically. Yeah. So you will look at that. So by looking at these cited references or the time cited or the citing articles, you basically get an idea on the research the relationship between the research, how it evolves, what the new directions, and a good timeline. You can see when it started, or even going forward and forward. So you can see that good relationship. Now, apart in Web of Science, apart from these two connections, citation connections, you have some additional connections that you can explore, which is called the related records. So those who are doing frequent research in Web of Science, you will come across these related records. Yeah. So what is this related records? It's basically collections of papers or citing articles. Yeah. It could be cited references. Apart from the cited references or time cited, you have another way to explore, which is the related records. Related record basically are references. They have cited at least one references from here. So if they have cited one references from this paper, it could be more. Yeah, it could be more, but as long as they have cited one references, they are considered as a related records, and it is classified as a related record, which is suggested for you to explore further. Okay, now with all these three comprehensive ways, all these three cited references, time cited, related records, we call it a citation network. It is you are able to now to build a large pool of source lists. Yeah, you're able to pull a large pool of source lists or references list to analyze or to synthesize your research paper. And why we say this is very important, particularly useful, especially when you have keywords are not easy to be defined. For example, if we look at some of these terms, right, it could be applied in the business, it could be also applied in social sciences. So it may be applicable in multiple disciplines. So your results that you're looking for may not precise. So you can use the citation connection to identify more precise information. And when you want to look up for the older research that need to be traced, so whenever you want to trace the older research, especially in the field of chemistry, and you want to know when this particular chemical compound was discovered or how this chemical compound had been utilized previously, you can also use the citation connection. There are many other usefulness of this citation connection, but these are some of it that I'm sharing with you. And also to look at the next, what happens next, to see where the research trends leads and what's the direction of this research. For example, in the research of the digital currencies such as cryptocurrencies, basically lead to research investment on Bitcoin, Ethereums, and there's a major focus on the fintech revolutions and so on. So that is to see what's happening subsequently, or what's the new direction of that research. So now, once you understand this, when you go into your platform, it's much more easier for you to discover those information. So these basic concepts of the citation network, and this is how this whole citation Web of Science was built to support the research communities, to identify gaps, to identify the undiscovered information in the past, or to identify trends and etc. Okay, so I'm going to go into the just pause for 1 second to see if you have any question. Okay, I don't see any questions, so I'm going to take you through the live demo. So how to access to the Web of Science from your institution, from your library portal. So basically go into your library portal, go down all the way to my resource, the e-resources. Okay, so if you are accessing through the IP within the campus, of course, you can go through this. But if you're accessing to the out campus, then you can go through your login to your Easy Proxy. Yeah? So if you needed to be entered your credentials, you enter that accordingly. Once you have entered, then if you go into any of these social sciences or even science and technology subjects, as you scroll down all the way, you will see there is a Web of Science database. You can see. So you can access through the in campus as well as off campus. You just follow the instructions accordingly. So once you have clicked on it, you will come to this page. Hold on. Okay, so you will see, you probably can access to from your end. And most importantly, make sure that you register. Yeah. So if you are accessing through your IP and if you see a register button here, that means you haven't registered. So if you can quickly go in and register, let me just log out. Okay. So just register here. So remember, if you are using your email address, your password, remember. So remember that, because subsequently, if you want to use any of the Web of Science series of products, you can use the same credentials. Even like for the MJL, the Master Journalist, also you can use the same credentials. So register. So once you have registered, you can also sign in here. So once you have signed in, you will see your name appearing here. So what is the advantage of signing in? If you don't sign in, you still can do the search, you can find some information, but you basically will miss out some personalization features. Like if you want to save the searches, if you want to create alerts, or if you want to look at the history, those information won't be here if you don't register. So make sure you register, your name will appear here. Then in this Web of Science platform, if you look at it, you have two options to start search with. So we are going to start with documents. We will search researcher later. Okay. Now you will see slightly different than what you see in your screen. Yeah, I have this beta, smart search beta, but you may not have. Not to worry about that. Okay. Now search in Web of Science core collection. So I have selected this. So core collections include all this indexes, right? Okay, we talked about those indexes. Now, how do I start my search with? There are two options. You can use the advanced searches or you can use the field searches. Today, I may not focus on searching, but I'm going to take you through some of the important features with this platform. But to learn more about how this platform responds to your query, or if you want to know how Web of Science search technique works, there is actually a site here. You go down, if you look at the question mark, click on it. Go to online help, contact us, go to help guide. Okay. So in the help guide, there is actually one tab on search rules. On your left here, basically shows you how to manage the search results. sorry, not this, not, sorry, search. I'm going to take you to the search, search tools. Yeah, searching in Web of Science. So you can search document search, reference search, and so on. Search tools, you know, the search rules, the spelling variances, the operators, and so on. So if you go into search rules, basically, if you just click it, yeah. So you can understand how it works, the use of quotation mark, the spelling variances, the wildcards use, and so on. So you can learn here, but let me take you back here. Hold on. So it's field search. That means if I want to search of keywords, I can use all fields. All fields means you want the key terms to appear any part of the documents, but topic means there are specific part of the document. So if you select topic, on your right, you will see it searches at the title, at the abstract, at author's keywords, as well as keyword plus. Yeah, it searched through that particular segments. Okay, now if you want it searched by title, if you are given references, you can go into title and search it. Or if you want to search by a specific institution, you can use affiliation, and you want to search your institution's research output, you can do so. Or you can use any other field search here. Okay, we focused on for the keyword search, we use the topic search. So let's say if I want to search on a term called marine debris. Okay, so here you go. This is what I want to search. So basically, it's actually looking at marine and debris. So if I want a phrase, I can put in a quotation mark. But to show examples, I'm not doing so. Just search it. So you get like quite a number of results, all talking about marine debris in the title, in the abstract, and so on. So if you want to refine, if you have more additional terms, even if you don't have it in your mind, you only know this is the broad topic that you want to search. You don't worry about it. Here there is actually some key terms which has been suggested algorithmically, yeah, by the AI. It has suggested some keywords to add. So you can either say, yes, it's about marine debris, but is it marine litter, or is it to do with microplastic or plastic pollution? Just go on and see what else, So it gives you a suggestion. So with that, you can even always add this additional key terms here just by clicking on it. Or if you want to add other key terms, so if you want to say pollution, you want to see marine pollution. So you can also see what are the options that you want to see. If you don't find it here, you can search, get the suggested keywords to do so, yeah. You can use these keywords. I'm going to use microplastic. So microplastic, whether you want to be included, should be or not, should included, or it must be included. You have three options. One is should include, one is must include, one is do not include. But here you want it to must include. Then you will search now. It's actually basically marine debris and microplastic. Okay, so I get the results now. Here's the results, about 2000 plus. So of course you can look at it to see if it's relevant to you and so on. On your left frame here is where you want to discover some information. So for example, if you want to see some some impact papers or some seminal papers, hold on. Okay. So you may, I'm not sure, Shalpa, do you have the highly cited papers? Do you have the access to this?
I think we don't have.
You don't have, right?
Mm-mm.
Okay, no worries. So I just wanted to confirm that. So don't worry about this. I just want to share with you what it means. But if you don't have, don't worry. I show you another options to look up for some information. So these highly cited papers, and they are odd papers. So if you want to look at some of the influential papers, yeah, impact of influential papers in this research area, you can do a quick filtration. So select highly cited paper or hot papers to look at it, so you can refine it. So before I go into detail of it, so if you put a cursor here, so if you see, this is actually a highly cited paper. So highly cited paper means that papers has been published in the last 10 years. Yeah, those research papers have been published in the last 10 years that have received enough citation to put them in the top 1% of the academic field. So this is based on the academic field and the publication year. So this is in the geosciences. They are one of the highly cited papers, and they are considered as highly cited papers because they gained citation to be top 1%. So if those who are doing research with related to geosciences, this paper that is something that you must consult, yeah, related to marine especially. So you want to do so. Then you also have the clear this and show you the hot papers. Now, what's the difference between the hot papers and highly cited papers? Hot papers, they are basically identifying papers who are in trending, they're emerging, because it is a newer papers where basically it's been published in last 2 years. Sorry, yeah, if you see, this is the hot paper. So it's been published in the past 2 years, which has received enough citation to be in the top of 0.1% in the papers in the field of geosciences. So these are also, again, some influential papers that you can access to. But in the case where you don't have access to these two, if you're not able to find those filters, not to worry, because actually that is part, it comes under the essential science indicator. It comes under the essential science indicator data, so you may not have access to that. What you can do is next clear this, basically just clear this. You want to explore the 2000 over documents, but you want to see from the most highly cited papers. So use your relevant sort by and say go into the citation highest. I think most of you are familiar with this. Just go in citation highest, so you get the most cited papers on top and subsequently goes down, yeah, accordingly. It is another way for you to discover the most influential papers, the seminal papers in the area of marine debris, including microplastic and so on. Okay, now in the this basically it's overall citation count. Yeah, it can be this is 2009 published, but along the way they have received so many citation. But if you want to see some papers, those who are new papers, but they also been regarded as a highly accessed paper, so you can also use another way to sort it based on usage. Use the usage 180 days. So this means you are looking for papers that has been highly accessed in the last 180 days, about 6 months, so that you can identify that papers in the the newer papers, the trending papers that has been indicated interest in those papers. So how we interpret this is basically, since there are a lot of people exploring this paper, accessing to this paper, downloading this paper, there must be something interesting in there, right? The assumption is there must be something interesting in there. So you may want to use this option to uncover another perspective of the trending topics. So you can use, so yeah. Okay. So now, to be clear, if you may not see the highly cited papers on your left checklist, but I was just sharing it in case, just for your knowledge purposes. But if you don't have, if you want to look up for more influential papers, you can use the options from here. use the citation highest index, or you can use the usage last most first and so on. So usage last 180 days. Okay. Okay. Now we have searched and looked at the influential papers, seminal papers by using the two techniques. So on your left frame, basically you can do a lot more other filtration. So by doing this filtration, you will see the different dimension. Each time you see a different dimension of this research collection, yeah, the information that you have it here. So you can see from looking at it, the document types. You can also select last 5 years of content to analyze. You can also go in and look at, this researcher has contributed 42 papers in this particular research, in this research domain. You want to explore, if you want to want to collaborate with this researcher, or if you want to do some other activities, you can explore it. And very importantly, as you know, Web of Science, it is categorized in the 254 categories. These categories, they are based on the journal level. So if the whole category is based on the journal level. So if the journal is more on discussing about environmental, then they've been categorized under the environmental based on the journal level. So as you go down, I'm not sure if you're familiar with this citation topics, which is actually quite new. Let me just take this example. Okay, coming back to this citation topics. So the citation topics, actually it's a new classification. It's been, I think, available in the last few months or so, if you've noticed that. So we have classified based on citation topics. Citation topics are at the article level. Yeah, it is at the article level, and it was classified based on looking at the co-citation of the documents. So when the documents are co-cited frequently, so they start forming clusters. So then it's being classified accordingly. So if you look at this, there are 3 levels of the classification. One is the meso level, right? This is the meso level, middle level. There's supposed to be a macro level, right? There's a macro level, then you have the meso level, then you have the micro level. So this is under the, if I go into any of this document, let's say if I select this, if I want to know what is this category about, so just go into that article. So as you scroll down, that you will see this has been classified under the agriculture environment as a macro level, right, based on the articles. Then it is also classified as a meso level at the more granular level, herbicides, pesticides, ground poisoning, and so on. And here is the micro level. So the micro level is under the microplastic. So you are able to discover the collections of information more effectively. So let's say if you find this article interesting, you want to know more about these topics, you basically just have to click on microplastic. Or if you want to see from slightly broader perspective, you want to use the meso level, or you want to go for the macro level. So it is easy for you to discover the information. Not only looking at it from the broad category, which is the journal level, but now you are able to look at it from the citation topic, which is the more granular category. Okay, I want to go back one step. So again, so you can see different perspectives from here. As you go down, you can see affiliation with specific departments. This is very new. In the past, you can see affiliation of the institution or the agencies, you can see that, but now it is one level down to the affiliation with department. Then you can go and look at which publications have produced this research collections of information from this research, and also the countries and other information. Scroll down a little bit, you have these sustainable development goals. Yeah. Okay, this is new. The Sustainable Development Goals is new. So if you most academic institutions, if you know, to support or to promote one of the to promote the SDG goals, the United Nations SDG goals, they will do many initiatives, different initiatives. So usually the academic institution will promote it through the research activities. So it has been some challenging in the past if you want to see which sustainable development goals that is this specific institution has been contributing, or even the research that I'm working contributing to which sustainable development goals. Now here you can filter it accordingly. Okay. Now I want to go back one step, but before I go, let me see if I see any question. Okay, there's no. Okay, now whatever that you do from here earlier, we will see one dimension, right? You click, you refine, and you see one dimension. But if with a very quick click of the this analyze results, right? If I want to analyze the entire results, you just click on analyze results. Then you can very quickly to see the multiple dimension of this, the multi-dimension of this research. So if it is been default with Web of Science category, so if I want to see from the, you know, from the affiliation, who are the institutions has been involved in this research, you can have a very quick look. You can also change this to show 25 at one go. If you want to collaborate in future, let's say if you want to find collaboration, or if you want to work with the authors, you can do so. Just a minute. Okay, so these analytical tools, the analyze results, the analytical tool is a very, very powerful feature. Yeah. So whenever you if you do your research, you always have question in your mind when you perform. You always have question in your mind. Like some of those questions can be like, you want to see who are the authors. Quickly, you want to see who are the authors who involved in this research, because this research closer to what you're doing. So you want to see who had contributed, who are the authors that has contributed to this publication. Then you want to identify some of the institutions. You want to see who are the affiliations who have contributed to the set of content, who are funding, most importantly, who are the funding agency has been providing funding for this sets of research. And also if you want to see, okay, if I want to publish in this the topic that I'm working on, which publications has been publishing, right? Publishers, you can either go by publication titles or publishers if you want to. So you just click on publication titles and so on. So you get an idea. So with asking this question, you get a quick answers. Yeah? By exploring such questions, you are able to get answers very quickly by just clicking one click. You're able to find answers like, you know, who are the prolific authors in this research area, who can I collaborate with in this research area, who are the leading researchers, a leading institution in this research area. It can how to collaborate with them to, you know, whether it is they are international collaboration or whether they are local collaboration and so on. So that is, you know, very quickly you find even journals that has been publishing in this research, or even funders that have been involved in this research, and also journal titles so that you can submit your manuscript. So you find a lot more quick, you find quick answers to your question that you have been, you know, asking by coming to this platform. As you scroll down, you will see the same information. Now it's in the more tabular format, yeah, with the count, record count. And you can say, okay, I would like to analyze selections of, you know, information within this publication title, Marine Pollution Bulletin, for example. You can refine it and explore it, and you can do another level of analysis, just analyze the results. Not only that, if you scroll down, if I'm interested in knowing this particular author, let's say go to here, author, and I want to know more about this author. So just click on this author, view the records, and you can analyze further within that. Yeah, you can analyze the records. So you can go multi-layer analyzing, analyze and then analyze and analyze and analyze. You can go level by level to analyze this information. So that is why I would say this is the power of the analyze results, analytical tools in this research, in this Web of Science platform. Okay, now next one is we have seen analyze results. On my right here is next one. Let's assume you are doing this research and you want to do a proposal for your funding. Then you need to justify and say, yes, this research is, bringing in more citation. There's been citation has been on the increasing trend. There are a lot more publication is on this research topic and so on. So to do so, what you do is you just go into your citation report. Yeah, let me just go into the citation report. Before that, I just want to see if I have filtered anything. Okay, leave it as it is. So to do a citation report, if you have results more than 10,000 results, you may not be able to do a citation report. You may not do so. So what you always do is refine it to keep it below 10,000 so that you can run the citation report. So in this case, it's much more easier to run the citation report because it's already, hold on, I don't want to, okay, now it's better. So, okay, so this is about marine debris, marine debris with the microplastic as part of the search as well. So you can say that this total of the publication, that is about 2,000 plus, you can analyze it further. Then you can see who are the citing articles who have cited this information subsequently, how many times they've been cited. So there's a matrix on these collections of information. And you scroll down, this is a very good image to show. There is the citation is on a increasing trend. You can see it's increasing on a sharp increase here. And of course, for 2023, not yet. So this is something that you want to show. There's this particular research. Basically, there is a potential for this research, or to show this is it's still relevant, is promising, and so on. So you can use this chart as your evidence to put up your proposal for your fundings or any other proposals. Yeah, so this is one way that you can do. But if you're doing from the institutional perspective, you can do so also to say, okay, from the institution perspective, this is on a rising trend, and a lot of publication, the output has been on an increasing trend as well. So you can do so. That I will show you how to do that on the institution level. So right now it's more on the research papers, collections of information based on the domain. You can do at the author level as well, your researchers level as well. Okay, now I just go back one step. So we have seen how we can utilize some of those main functions, such as the quality of journal. Okay, so the quality of journals, okay, let me show you. Let me just go back one step. Okay, this is the quality of journal is very much related to journal citation report, right? ACR, but let me see. I just leave it like that and look at this. So if you have access to the JCR, then if you basically just click on this source, right? If you click on this source, you will see the journal's performance, the performance of these journals when it comes to the impact, the quality. So in this case, you can see this journal, it has 56. Journal impact factor is 56. But I'm not sure whether you can see this now, because I think you don't have the journal citation report. Am I right, Puan Sharifah?
They might see the information about the impact factor and quartile once they click on the journal title on Web of Science. Just like your screen, we can see it like this.
You can see this, but you will not see
Yeah.
the number, right?
We can see the number.
Oh, you can see the number.
Yeah.
Okay, okay. Then if you see that, it's fine. Okay. So this is how you will see that. For example, this has been embedded here. So if you want to know quickly about this particular journals or any other journals, just put a cursor here, click on it, and you can see that overlay information about this journal. So you basically this shows the impact factor, the categorization. Yeah, basically show you the categorization in terms of the ranking. So it's in the ranking 2 out of the 73 collections of information in multidisciplinary sciences. Then of course it stays as a quartile 1. Okay. So with that, and the next one is the journal citation indicator. So I think most of you, if you would have gone through the JCR session, you will know how journal citation indicator is interpreted. Basically, that it's based on the baseline of 1.0. So if any journal citation indicator with the metrics of above 1.0, that means they have been receiving citation as expected. And if it's 9, means more than 9 times as expected, something like that. And if it's below 1, it is it's less than expected. Okay, so that's how you look at it. It's based on the baseline of 1.0. Okay, and here this is quartile 1. Okay. So this did I answer that question, or are you expecting or any other explanation? Fabian, you want to know other aspects? Okay, the journal impact factor, there is a way of the calculation is basically based on the citation receipts and the number of articles, citing articles to be, it depends on the number. So I think so far I've seen up to 60 plus, 60 plus, but it's not a percentage. It's not a percentage. It's basically a number like this one. This is not a percentage. So to learn more about it, actually you can go to the, if you click on it, it will take you to the journal citation reports or the site where it explains how this is being calculated. Okay, there's a way to calculate that. Okay, now I'm going to go back one step because I came back after there's a question on quality. So let me come back here. Okay, so now I'm going to show you, if let's say by looking at this, by now you have identified some of these papers that you want to analyze further, keep in your folder called mark list. So you select those results. Yeah, this right now I've selected 4, and you can add it to your mark list. So what is a mark list? Is your own folder. So you can create a mark list. So remember, you can only create the mark list if you have registered. If your name don't appear here, you may not be able to create one here because it is a personalized feature. So if I want to create and say, okay, I want to do research on marine debris. So for example, I just create and say, so you now have created a mark list, and that marked list. Then you have all these first 4 collections, or the documents has been added. You can see this is added as favorite, has been added, mark list, this 4. So what is this mark list for? So the mark list is basically, if you doing your research constantly, it's like add to bookmarks lah. Basically you're saying, okay, I think this is relevant, so that when you done with all the search that you've done, found all the literatures that you need for your research, you can analyze the research accordingly. And this content, you can grow the content. Today you have added 4, tomorrow you can add another 10. You can add up to 50,000 records. Yeah, you can add up to 50,000 record. And once you have added the record, all this information is actually residing here. I will come back to talk about this lab frame shortly. Now let's move on. Okay. Now apart from that, apart from adding to your mark list, you can immediately export it to your citation management system. If you're using EndNote or EndNote desktop, you can export directly. But if you're using Mendeley or Zotero or Citavi, then you just export it to your RIS file and then it will export it over. If you want to export it to Excel, just export it. So each time that you want to export, your maximum record is 1000. So if you want to export more than that, just go and do it in multiple times. Yeah, and the record that you can have that you want to explore, you want to import, you can see that full record. At the same time, you can also edit and say what record do I want to export. So this is how you can use the Excel sheet to export the information. So you can export it to EndNote, to citation management system, and so on. Okay, now for those who have created a profile, you have registered and your profile is created. And if you want to curate all your content publications, so if you come across your publication is not appearing in your researchers list, and if you see this is your own paper, it's your own paper, and it is not in your list, you can use and say, okay, add to my add to my research profile quickly. You can do so. Okay, this is a quick way to add your information. Okay, so we have discovered on add to mark list, export. You know how to sort by options using the highest citations as well as the highest usage. Okay, and we have analyzed the results, looked at the citation report and so on. Of course, create alert is straightforward. I will let you explore later. It's basically create an alert so you can stay updated with the development if there's new content being added, so you will be able to keep track. Okay. Now I'm going into some collections of information. So like this enrich cited references. So some of these papers, they have gone through and the cited, even though they have all of them have the references as being indexed, some of them gone through the enriched cited references. So if you select on enriched cited references, basically you can refine it. Okay, then you can see the enriched cited references. What it means basically, if you go into this this topic, right? Just go into this paper, explore the paper. Of course, you can see the source, and you scroll down. Hold on, take some time. Okay, here. So this is the enrich. So for sometimes we want to know this paper has so many cited references. Wait, let me take the one with highest. Hold on, yeah. Let me change this to the highest. Sorry, let me just select this, enrich cited references, and 71 references. Okay. So if you know that it has 71 references, cited references, and if we want to know where is these cited references being cited in the full text of the article. So if you go into enrich cited references, okay, this only show most of it has been cited in the references. So if I go back and look at another article, let me show you another article. Another document. Looking at enrich references here. Okay, it may take some time, but wait, loading. Okay, but it's okay. Some of it is not written. Sometimes you can see a few layers. Some of it is mentioned in the introduction. Some of it is at the method and methodology part. Some of it at the discussion. Some of it is the results page. Some of it is conclusion page. So you want to know where is the site references being cited. So if you just put a cursor here in each of this dot, it says, okay, this particular citation has been cited. I think this is in the intro level as a background. So if you click on the in-text mention, it will take you to the citation itself directly. So why is it important is, sometimes we know it's been cited, but we want to quickly understand why is it cited, what is the intention of the citation. Then this diagram will help you to understand about the topic more holistically. Okay. Now this particular paper itself, so hold on, it's a bit slow down a bit, hold on. Okay, just maybe we just take 1 minute break. Let's see, give some break for the for the system. Okay, while it's loading, if you also come across like this, yeah, like hold on. It's already enriched. Okay, so let's take this page. Okay, so we have seen the enriched cited references. On your right, if you want to see this paper, if you want to see how is this paper subsequently been mentioned in other papers here. So if you want to see how it's been mentioned, you can see this paper has been mentioned 13 times in the background, 12 times, 2 times in basis, and so on. So 10 times in the discussion. This is to show how this paper has influenced the subsequent articles, subsequent papers, subsequent citing articles. So this is how it works. So you can also explore that. This is also new. And here, if you see, let me just go back one step to see the result set. Okay. So those who are familiar with the EndNote Click, you can download the EndNote Click. Yeah, so it's an extension. So wherever it locates for the PDF, it will populate at the page, like EndNote Click. So that means you can view in the PDF directly. And if you have access in your collections, you have collections from ProQuest, if it's available in this platform, and it will also auto detect, okay, it's available in ProQuest platform, and it allows you to view the content in the ProQuest platform. Same goes if you have access to the full text in the publisher side and so on. So there are many ways that you can access to the full text from this platform. If in the past you don't get to access, now you can see, there's a view full text here. There is a view full text from ProQuest. You can also see view full text from EndNote Click and so on. So to do so, make sure that you go to the products, install the EndNote Click, and enable the extension here. Then you can see, you click on it and view the PDF directly. Yeah, you can do so. Okay, now coming back here. So we have covered most important part of it, but remember the very important diagram that I showed you is the citation network. So if I want to discover how is this particular paper has been cited subsequently, and I want to analyze further, I can go into the citing articles, or if I want to look at it as how many times it's been cited in other databases as well, you can explore it here. And if you want to see the cited references, the references that are cited in this paper, you can also analyze it further. And the related records. If you have missed it, you just go into the related records and it shows you that this article, this particular record had shared 18 references with this one. Okay, related to this, had shared 18 references, 18 shared references. So which means there are definitely some form of relationship, some form of some kind of connections between this particular document or the record with this one. So you can also analyze it further. Okay, so select. So if you find it, just select it and then put it into your marked list, which you just created, marine debris and so on. Okay, so that is one way. So now I want to go in to see very quickly. I think we may need a little bit more time. Just give me maybe about another 10 minutes. Maybe I should be able to summarize it very quickly. Okay, researchers. We can explore the researcher, right? So if you want to collaborate, if you want to know about this researcher, just click on here and explore the researcher's profile by viewing the profile here. Okay, so you can do so. But what I want to do is I want to go into the researcher's profile here. Okay, so if you have registered, your profile will appear at the bottom. You can see this is your recent researchers, your latest alerts. And if the system will recommend to you according to your paper, this recent research history, or if I've added mark list, right, it actually will recommend to you some papers that related to your research profile. Okay. Now before that, let's go into the researchers. Okay. Now explore by organization. In your institution, just type in. Now you can quickly look at the researchers within your institution, right? Those who have claimed the profile, those who have unclaimed profile. There are two types of profile. If it's a claimed profile, you will see a tick. Right? You can see, yes, I have claimed this profile. So therefore, it's I can curate and add more publications or add whatever information that I want to keep my profile updated. You can do so. Or if you see that unclaimed profile means you will not see a tick here. So that profile needs to be claimed so that you can curate that profile. So this is a curated profile. Let's look at this is Prof. Lam's profile. Let's see. Okay, right. So you can see the whole profile with the published name, with the organization that you have worked before, and also the the subject categories that you are working on, and the awards, the previous awards that you have done. This is the top reviewers awards. So if you have received highly cited awards, also can be listed here. The ORCID IDs and so on is all listed, and the number of papers, the documents that you have authored, including some of those papers which is not indexed in core collection. So if it is not available in core collection, then you can also add them in here, right? If you find that articles, you can add it to your profile. On my right, you have all the researchers metrics, yeah, performance metrics, from the publications in Web of Science to time cited to citing article to being cited in citing patents as well. So if you to view the citation report, you can either go into citation report or you can open the dashboard. Okay, so in this dashboard, it shows you it's on a sharp increasing trend, the citations, and increasing trend in publication output. And then here, this author impact being plot. So usually how you perceive the author's performance is based on the H index. Yeah? H index is just one number. So sometimes you may not be able to see the entire activities or the performance of the author, but this author impact beam plot it's good because it gives you more holistic view of the researchers activities across 10 years or even for the full career. So if I change this to the full career, then you can see since when it's been started publishing and how the performance of the publishing, like you can see if this line is on the 86th percentile, that means performing more than top 15% performance. And this is the average. And if you want to see from the yearly, then you can see this year 2017, it's at 84th percentile and so on. So why is it important to look at this is to show you, it you can see Prof. Lam has been active in the last few years. Yeah, and if you want to collaborate with someone, this is a good indicator to show, okay, this researcher has been, been active in the past few years, and if I were to collaborate, this is the right timing. Sometimes H index may not explain that, but by looking at the author beam plot, this will show you, is the right, even though they, it comes to subject, it is something that is relevant to you, but you want to also see more information about the research author profile itself. Okay, so this is author impact beam plot. As you scroll down, you can see where have you made impact across the world, where it shows where your citation appears across the world. You can see the map. I won't click now because it may take some time, but you can explore that later. Now, how do I keep my profile updated? Okay, so you need to claim, right? You need to claim the profile. Once you have claimed the profile, you can always make sure that you keep them updated. So before that, there are some new features. You can, once you have updated, you can just copy this URL, share it with whoever you want to share this. Yeah, you can do that. Or you want to add alert when it comes to, if you want to see if there's any publication being added, or if there's any of your publication receiving citation alerts, you can also create alert. And on our left here, so this is where you can keep all your profile updated. So if you see there's a profile, before I go to profile, so remember we have marked list we have created. If you click on the marked list, so here is all your marked list. This is the my marked list, right? Marine debris. You can add, you can subsequently add, manage, change, and so on. So this is where you access it. And the profile. Okay. So at the profile, you can edit your profile. Okay. So this is my profile, change photos if you want to, have your published name, organization history. This is very basic. Then the publication preferences. I would say if you have not toggled this to the right to enable to receive automatic core collection and preprint records. Yeah. So that means any time if your publication is being added to Web of Science, you want them to be added to your profiles automatically. This only can be done if you have at least one publication in the past in your profile, right? If your profile has one publication, then it will automatically add it to your profile. If you don't have one, you have to start doing manually. Then subsequently, it will add to your profile. Okay, so you can enable this. Then you can also indicate your peer review preferences. Yeah, you can indicate your peer review preferences. Basically, you say I'm available to review, I'm not available, and so on. You want to whether you want to expose your information, that you can do so. And lastly, if you already have an ORCID ID, if you want to sync it, basically you just click connect, sync it. So it will sync all the information from your ORCID information to your Web of Science researcher profile ID. Okay, so that is a profile. And if you don't want to do so, okay, wait a minute. Okay, add the profile, add the My Records. You can add the publication. If you want to do manually, if the publication is not from Web of Science, if you want to add them, you can use a few options using the DOI, or if you use some other identifier, add them, or you can upload it, or you can directly sync it to your ORCID. So it will sync all the documents, all the publication that you have it in your ORCIDs as well. And peer reviews. Okay, so if you have done some peer reviews in the past, so make sure that you indicate here and say yes, you want to display the content in your profile. Okay, and if you're being an editorial board membership, you are a part of the board membership, then you can add also. This will appear in your profile. Yeah, so I think that's about it. The rest of it, if you have done saved your searches, or if you have created alert, you can access it. Yeah, and managing it. This is straightforward, so I may not cover on that. Yeah. Okay, so now last one we come back to the documents. So if you want to analyze your institution's collection, yeah, so just go into documents, go to the affiliation. Okay. So this collections of information is, I think, way from 97. I think you should have complete also based on your collection. This is what you have your publication output that has been indexed in in Web of Science, yeah, JCR and Web of Science. And if you want to analyze further, of course, you can analyze to see who are your collaborators, who are which countries has been collaborating with you. Sorry, here, yeah, this affiliation. From then you can look at the countries or the departments, or you can also look at the countries level, or who has been receiving funding in your, where is your funding come from, and all those things. Okay, so this is how you see it. And of course, you can also, sorry, I have moved one step quickly. Just a minute, yeah. Okay, just go back to here, just search it. And also looking at the citation report. Okay, you can see that. Okay, I have covered all the important points that you need, because there's a lot more information in the Web of Science, but I covered all the important points that you need to use to support some of the, especially the key features to support your research journey. If you have any question, just feel free to put it in the chat panel. And if I can, I will address the question. Otherwise, if it's beyond my knowledge, I will get back to you, after consulting the experts. Okay. Okay. The question is, how you're asking, how can I identify peer-reviewed journals? Okay. So in your case, in this case, right, you are asking to, for your research purpose, right? You want to use this for your research, and you want to make sure that the journal is peer-reviewed. Are you saying that, Noma? Okay. So in this case, right, this Web of Science is a citation database. So whenever it get indexed, so remember we talked about the, hold on. Once it's been indexed in the Web of Science, there is no question to ask whether it's peer reviewed or not. All the papers are peer reviewed, because only those has been gone through the peer review evidence will only then they can be indexed. Otherwise, they will not be indexed. So if you find any papers in the Web of Science, that means it's already been peer reviewed. So don't worry about selecting it. Okay, selecting for a peer review. Answer that question. Anybody else? Okay, if you don't worry, I will taken a bit longer time, but I know it's a very important information that I wanted to share with you. If you have any question in future, you just feel free to email to me at krinji.malar@clarivate.com. And of course, you can always consult Puan Sharifah and Puan Fatima. They are there to help you. They are experts in this field as well. So make sure that you consult them. If you need it, then you can put me into a CC if you have any other. Just to share with you, and before I forget, there is actually a question mark here, gives you the current product updates if you want to know new product updates and so on. Or you can also go to the training. There is actually a site, Web of Science. Essentially, you can enroll it. There's a training portal that you can learn about the collection of information and so on. So go into the training portal. So you just have to sign in. You just have to sign in, and for training portal, you don't need to. You can see that getting started with Web of Science, just click on it. The recording will play accordingly. Yeah, it's actually a certificate of completion is provided, and others information if you want to find here. So you can go and explore it. And the Web of Science Essential as well, that trainings here. And I already shown you about the help guide just now. Okay, so explore this. So with that, I now would like to end the session. Hopefully we can do the next round in the 2 parts, so we have more time. Okay, thank you so much for your time. Look forward to see you all soon in any other sessions. Okay, let me also share the post-webinar survey link. Arifa, hand it over to you.
Okay, thank you so much, Miss Kurunji. It's been an absolute pleasure having you on board this day. So I'm sure the audience will have really taken away something from this session. For example, screening for predatory journals, new field options such as citations topics, meso and macro, and how to find the impact factor and quota of a journal, etc. So thank you once again, Ms. Kurunji. So I think we have around about 70 minutes, but hopefully everyone will be fine with that, right? Okay, so I'm going to wrap up this session quickly. For those who want to get the certificate and recording, please kindly scan the QR code. Okay, I will share the QR code now. Okay, can you see the QR code? Or click on the link that Puan Maslina has posted on in the chat box. Yeah. Okay. So if okay, there are a few questions and it would be great if you can complete the form. So don't forget to fill out the form that Miss Kurunji have shared with us too. Okay. Okay. Then okay. Thank you so much. We'll see you all next time. Thank you.
Thank you, Puan
Okay. Thank
Sharifah,
you.
Puan Fatima, and to the participants, thank you so much. Even if you learn 1 or 2 things today, that's good enough because I think it will lead you to the next level of learning. So thank you and have a great day ahead. See you all soon.
Okay. See you again.